Hi, I'm Mitchell. Welcome to my shop. This video is going to be a lot about the rudder, and as you know from previous videos that the rudder was drilled crooked by somebody else, and this video is a lot of detailed stuff about this rudder and how to get that right. So the rudder's completed. A lot of things are getting to the point to where I need to move on, but I don't have material like the windshield material. I've got to build this. So, and plus some of the glue I've ordered and some of the things, my epoxy resin, fiberglass cloth. For some reason, everybody's out of everything. So we're going to be delayed a little bit here, so the videos won't be coming as fast as they have been. But anyway, remember guys to like, share, and put on the little bell if you want to be notified about my videos. And most importantly is to subscribe. Thanks a lot, guys. As you can see, I'm starting to mount the door, and I've just taped it on and made sure it's nice and flush with the tape. So when I go back to the other side, you can see I just brushed Lysol all the way around it, and then I'm going to sand that down and then come back with a thin layer of fiberglass. And remember, we can't get too thick around where the windows are because that's where the glass is going to go in, and we want that to be smooth. Okay, here's all the tape moved off. You can tell that this joint is smooth, and then you can see where some of the Lysol came through that filled up my gap. And then these pieces, I just used some scrap material that was left over from cutting one of the hatches that came out of the tail section. So I just used a piece of those because it's the right size and it's real smooth. But you might be saying, okay, you notice here there's a lip here, and if I Bondo this in and sand it down, there's not going to be any of a lip there. And later on, I'm going to show you how to get this lip with some paint and Bondo, how to make an overlapping panel like this. And you won't even be able to tell that that door was ever off this airplane. So later on, we'll take care of that. But for right now, it's put on there, and it's it's pretty secure just the way it is. You can see it moving. So the door's back on. So while the glue's setting up, and since I don't have any more, I'm kind of stuck. So I'm going to start working on these tires. You can tell I've cut this one out already, and I've got to cut the center of that one out yet. And then when I go to the rims, the back of the rims, I have to drill through that side and then re-tap each one of those to bolt up to this. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to finish that up, but I wanted to show you what kind of material you just have to cut out to make this tire. So in scale modeling, there's always something to do. While that piece sets up and dries, I decided to bring out my Bondo, and this is the company I use. It's real lightweight, two-part mix. Comes out kind of a light green color. It's really good stuff, really lightweight. It sands really nice. You can see that I put tape around the door because I don't want to be sanding and getting putty where I don't need to be. And you notice right on the top, some of the rivets got some putty on it. No big deal. I was planning on sanding those off and redoing those later anyway. So just let that dry up, and we'll sand that down after a while. So there's always something to do when you're doing scale building. So it's time to tackle the rudder. And I've thought about it and thought about how I'm going to fix this problem. And if you go here, as we talked about earlier, you can see the holes are not lined up at all. There's been multiple holes drilled. The slots are crooked. Nothing in here is straight. So what I'm going to do is cut a slot in the top of this rudder and then put a piece of board down through there to solve this problem. Now I use just a regular saw like this to cut these two lines, because I know in this area right here in molding is going to be pretty tough. And sometimes when you're cutting with a Dremel tool like this, it can kind of wander with you a little bit. So it's easier to cut with this straight down, and it's a little bit faster. But of course I can't cut this way now. So that's where this little wonderful little piece comes in to play. And you're going to see real fast how it cuts really easy. Now also, when you're running a Dremel tool, remember when you're cutting, it can have a tendency to want to pull you and do an arc like this. Remember, we want to go straight. So you want to just hold your hand and go straight. Gonna be a little bit noisy. Got off just a smidge there, but that's not a big deal because this piece is going to be put back together when we're done. Alrighty, and this should pop right off here, allowing me to be the inside so I can put my piece of wood down in here and make sure it's secure. So you can see I've marked these out where I'm going to square everything up. I'm just to cut these out since I got my Dremel tool ready. That'll be easy to do. Notice I have a mask out. That stuff's nasty stuff. You don't want that in your lungs. I know it's just a little cutting, but just that little bit of stuff is going to cause a lot of dust. You need to wear a mask. So they're a little bit bigger than I wanted, but you can tell they're much more even and more uniform now. A little more sandpaper and drilling, and this will be complete. So it's looking good. So you can see the holes line up. Biggest difference is right here. Check this out. If I can get it straight. Look at that. All in the center where it's supposed to be. So the rudder's finished up other than putting the top piece back on. So as you can see, I've got the rudder mounted. It's not been permanently glued in. I've only glued one side of the hinge pin to the vertical part. I like to do that so I can make sure that the throw on the rudder is correct. And two, if you move those, pull those pins in and out a lot, they get loose and you lose your gapping. Also, you can tell at the top here, it's got enough clearance for it to clear. And then, of course, I think everybody knows about putting control horns on like these, about where you're supposed to, before you tighten that down, you're supposed to file a little flat spot on the metal part to keep it from rotating. Also, I've got to put the little piece back up here on top. So I'm waiting on some high saw to come in. So, but that's the rudder. It looks really good. So that's just another step down that we don't have to worry about. We're getting closer and closer to paint work next. That's going to be a big, big, big job. So that's pretty much it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. This video is a little bit slower, not a lot of information, but it was a lot have to do with the rudder as you saw. I don't know if you guys want to see more videos about installing the radio equipment or stuff like the, say a servo. You know, if you're mounting a servo in an airplane and you're using digital trim and you're going to get the arm to be in the center and you're not moving, you know, pulling the arm off and making it centered, you're doing it wrong. That's okay for an ARF, that's okay for a foamy, but if you really need to set that servo up mechanically, 90 degrees to get the right servo. You should set it up to where you're only doing 1 or 2 clicks. I don't know if you guys if that's information you want to see, let me know in the comments. But I'm pretty sure everybody knows how to mount your receivers, you know, little things like that. I think the next part of some of the videos we're going to be watching later on, I don't think you need to see body work and stuff like that. I think everybody pretty much understands that, and you know, and that kind of thing. But you know, mounting the cowl is going to be something I know some of you would like to see how I'm going to do that. Also the windshield, how we're going to make this windshield. Never made anything quite this big before, so it's going to be a challenge. And the material I've ordered for it is out of stock. So I'm getting to a point that I'm glad I got other models to work on because I'm kind of stalling out on certain things. When we're talking about painting, I think that's some videos that you guys would be interested in, how I paint, how I do marking, stuff like that, because I don't use any decals whatsoever. I mask everything off. So we'll get into some of that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where we're at with the videos. They're going to slow down just a little bit just because some of the material I've ordered has not come in yet. So if you guys have enjoyed the videos, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know if you want to see more detailed stuff, and if I don't hear anything, then I'll just kind of pick and choose. Like I know some of you guys are going to want to see the windshield, because that's going to be something that's different and odd that most people have not saw. I'm hoping I don't need a vacuum type system. I hope I can just do it in the oven and pull it down, and because I only need one windshield. And then of course the cowl, as we talked about, we'll go over that. And then toward the end of all these videos, it's going to be eventually I'll start this up and go fly it for you guys, and that'll kind of finish out this series. So anyway, guys, I can't thank you enough for watching. I've really enjoyed some of your guys' comment and some of the guys I've met online with more information to help me out. It's just been great. So anyway, thanks so much. You guys have a good one. Fly safe.